The heat hits your face before the flame even touches metal. Sparks bounce off your visor. Your gloves are already slick with sweat inside them. You are 40 meters above the North Sea, kneeling on a steel grate that hums with the vibration of machinery you cannot see. Below you, black water churns. Above you, a crane swings a load the size of a truck. And in your hands is a torch burning at over 3,000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt the very steel holding this platform together. You are an underwater and topside welder on an offshore oil rig, and for the next 24 hours, this platform is your entire world. Your day started 3 hours ago, in the dark, 4:30 a.m. The alarm on your wrist buzzes against your skin in a cramped bunk room you share with 2 other men. No windows. No sense of day or night except the clock. You swing your legs down, feel the low, steady thrum of the rig's engines through the floor, and you already know today is a heavy lift day. You eat fast, eggs, toast, black coffee, in a galley that feels more like a submarine mess hall than a kitchen. Around you, 20 other men in matching coveralls eat in near silence. Nobody talks much before a shift. Why waste the words? You'll need them later, over the radio, when a mistake could cost someone a limb. By 5:15, you're suited up, fire-resistant coveralls, steel-toe boots, a welding hood that smells like ozone and burnt paint. A harness clipped to a lanyard, because one wrong step on this rig and there is nothing between you and the sea below. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, structural iron and steel workers, the category that includes offshore welders, have one of the highest rates of fatal injury of any occupation in the country. You know this. Everyone here knows this. It's why the first 10 minutes of every shift are not about welding at all. They're about checking your gas lines, checking your harness, checking the man next to you. Your supervisor calls it the walk-around, a slow lap of the work zone, eyes scanning for anything loose, anything leaking, anything wrong. Today it's a cracked support beam on the west leg of the platform, 30 meters above the waterline. That's your job today. Cut out the old steel, weld in the new. You climb the scaffolding with your torch strapped across your back like a rifle. The wind up here is different than on deck, sharper, colder. It cuts straight through the seams of your coveralls. You can taste salt on your lips. You reach the platform leg. Below your boots, through the steel grating, you can see the ocean directly. Dark, green-black, endless, moving. Most people would freeze looking down through that gap. You've learned not to look, not because you're not afraid, because fear is useful only if it keeps you sharp, not if it keeps you staring. You lower your hood. The world goes dark, except for the small glowing rectangle in front of your eyes. You strike the arc. For the next 90 minutes, your entire universe is 8 inches wide. The molten pool of metal in front of you, the hiss of the gas, the rhythm of your hand, steady, steady, steady. This is the strange secret of welding at extreme heights over open ocean in freezing wind. Inside the hood, it is almost peaceful. There is no rig, no wind, no drop, just the weld. That's the part nobody tells you about this job. The danger is real, constant, documented. Offshore platforms in the North Sea alone number over 180, according to industry data from Oil and Gas UK. And every single one depends on structural welds, like this one holding under pressures most people never think about. But inside the work itself, there's a kind of stillness, a focus so total it becomes almost meditative. Then the radio crackles. Weather update. A storm front moving in from the northwest, expected to bring gusts over 45 knots by mid-afternoon. You've got maybe 4 hours before the crane has to shut down and everything above deck gets locked to storm protocol. Your supervisor's voice is flat, controlled. No panic, just information. That calm is trained into every person on this platform, because panic costs seconds, and seconds cost lives. You move faster now, but not carelessly. There's a difference, and it took you years to learn it. Fast and careless gets people killed. Fast and controlled gets the job done before the storm arrives. By noon, your arms ache in a way that has nothing to do with weight and everything to do with holding perfectly still for hours at a time. Your neck is stiff from the angle of your hood. Your hands, inside thick leather gloves, have gone slightly numb from vibration. You break for lunch in a mess hall that sways almost imperceptibly, even on a platform fixed to the seabed, because your body has spent so many hours absorbing the tremor of machinery that stillness itself now feels strange. Someone mentions the storm. Someone else mentions their kid's birthday, back onshore, that they're going to miss for the third year running. This is the part of the job that doesn't show up in any safety manual: the distance. Most offshore workers on North Sea platforms work rotations of 2 or 3 weeks on, followed by an equal time off, according to standard industry scheduling used by companies like Shell and BP. 2 or 3 weeks where your family exists only as a voice on a satellite phone and a photo taped inside your locker. You finish eating and go back up. The afternoon weld is harder. Overhead position this time, torch angled upward, molten metal wanting to drip down onto your arms instead of pooling neatly below you. This is where experience separates a welder who lasts from one who doesn't. Your wrist barely moves, small, controlled, patient. A bead of sweat runs down your spine beneath 3 layers of protective fabric, and you let it. You cannot scratch. You cannot flinch. The arc does not pause for discomfort. Halfway through, the wind changes. You feel it before you hear the radio call. The platform's motion changes almost imperceptibly, a slight adjustment somewhere deep in the structure, responding to shifting sea state. Your supervisor's voice comes through clipped. Storms. Early. 15 minutes to lockdown. You have one more pass to finish on this weld, and an unfinished weld is a weak weld. You make a decision in about 2 seconds. Finish it clean, fast, controlled. You've done this joint 200 times in your career. Your hands know it even when your mind is racing. 12 minutes later, the final bead cools into place. You kill the torch, lift your hood, and the wind hits your bare face like a slap. The sky has gone the color of wet concrete. Whitecaps are forming on water that was calm 3 hours ago. You climb down as the deck crew scrambles to secure loose equipment, and by the time your boots hit the main deck, the crane is already locking into storm position. This is the peak of your day. Not the danger of the height, not the heat of the torch, but this, the razor-thin margin between finishing safely and not finishing at all. Inside, the rig groans against the building swell. You strip off your gear, hang your coveralls, and sit for a long moment in the sudden quiet of the locker room, hands still trembling slightly from adrenaline and fatigue. This is the hidden cost of the job, not just the physical risk, though that's real and documented and never fully disappears. It's the accumulated toll of hypervigilance, held for hours, day after day, for weeks at a stretch. Studies on offshore worker well-being, including research published through the UK's Health and Safety Executive, have linked extended offshore rotations to elevated rates of fatigue, sleep disruption, and stress-related health impacts. Your body doesn't fully relax until you're back on solid ground, and sometimes not even then. You call home that night, if the satellite connection holds. You hear your kid's voice, small and far away, ask when you're coming back. You give the answer you always give: soon. And here is the truth almost nobody outside this industry understands. You don't do this job despite the danger and the distance. You do it because of what it gives you that nothing else does: a kind of clarity. A kind of pride that comes from knowing the platform is standing, the pipeline is holding, the lights on shore are staying on, because of a weld you made with your own 2 hands, 40 meters above an angry sea, in a storm that almost caught you. Most people will never stand where you stood today. Most people will never know that the fuel in their car, the electricity in their home, passed through steel that people like you weld together by hand in weather that would send most of the world running for shelter. Tomorrow, the storm will pass. The crane will unlock, and you will climb back up, because somewhere on this platform, there is always one more weld that has to hold. The heat will hit your face again before the flame even touches metal. And once more, for a little while, your entire world will shrink down to 8 inches wide, steady, glowing, alive.